Hey everyone, this is Scott from Forgot to Grow Up. Welcome to another edition of Rewatching Legion. Today I'm talking about Season 1, Chapter 3. I just finished watching this episode and I just want to share my general thoughts after having just finished watching it. In this episode, David continues the search for answers while a threat looms, and that threat being, spoiler alert for those who haven't watched the season, I don't know why you're watching my rewatch videos if you haven't already watched the season, but spoiler alert, it is the Shadow King, who is the Yellow-Eyed Demon, who's fighting against David and the team as they're trying to explore David's memories. And I really like how this is done because it seems this episode's got kind of like a very horror kind of feel to it, and you feel like, oh, this yellow-eyed guy and this angry boy are freaking they're like monsters from a horror film. So like I really like how this episode was done because it gives you that feel. I feel as freaked out as the characters in it for them. I'm like, I don't want that guy chasing after me either. But yeah, I just really like how how they explore how the Yellow Eyes / the Shadow King is kind of fighting against them, trying to explore David's memories, and the fact that, you know, Shadow King's been with him his whole life and influencing him throughout the whole time. And so I really enjoy the way they dive into that and revisiting and being able to like kind of put pieces together, pay attention a little bit more. So I really enjoyed that. This episode we also discover a few more of David's abilities. We see him float in this episode. He kind of astral projects him and Sid somewhere, and then he also teleports. So that's really interesting to see him then like really exploring his powers so early on. I don't remember them getting to them that quickly, but he just has so many abilities. He literally can almost do anything pretty much. And so I just like how they're not like holding back on that, like as I'm rewatching, kind of realizing like how early they introduced his power, like how quickly they introduced how powerful he can be and all these different abilities he has. They're just kind of like throwing them up at the wall every time they poke at his brain, something else happens. But yeah, speaking of poking at his brain, everyone's still on the side of that he's sane, and David's questioning that throughout this episode, being like, are you guys so sure that there isn't something wrong with my brain? And that's what, because you guys are all telling me that I'm fighting against you, but I'm not fighting. And so I really enjoy that. Like, you kind of see David's own kind of like internal battle in a sense, because, you know, he doesn't even know what's happening and everyone's telling him one thing and he feels this other way, and it's just he doesn't know what to think, and quite literally doesn't know what to think. And so I just really enjoy the way they explore that. And then I like how they all get kind of stuck in David's head in this episode, you know, giving to that horror feel I was speaking of before, of kind of being stuck in a haunted house. In this case, it's a very, very powerful mutant's brain, who's got a Shadow King parasite thing in it as well. They don't know that, but I like how, you know, at least Sid is the one starting to put pieces together, be like, there's something not right, guys. You guys are wrong. There's something not going on. And I really like that she's the one who can see it. I think that plays into the fact that her and David has switched bodies at one point, so she, you know, has a little bit more of a connection in that way. I can't remember, because I feel like they do explore that throughout the season. I'll have to get to that as I rewatch these episodes. Yeah, and then we end this episode with David stuck in his head. So I'm excited to get to the next episode, which I believe is just pretty much the whole episode. It's in David's head and his memories and him trying to reconcile stuff himself. So I'm excited to get to that next episode to see if I'm correct about that in my memory or not. But yeah, that's all my thoughts for this episode of Rewatching Legion. Sure, let me know in the comments below what you thought about this episode. Thanks again for joining me today. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and have a good one.